Let's paint cherry blossoms in watercolors and test out Shop Tokyo Finds watercolor paper. It's 300 GSM, acid-free, 8.5 by 11 inches, and I got this for 199 pesos for 10 sheets. I first tried it with wet-on-wet technique, but I didn't like the results, so I'll do direct, minimalist painting on my next try. My go-to style when I just want to chill paint. Let's prepare our palette. To achieve this pastel look, I love mixing my colors with white. This is Chinese white by Holbein. But if you don't have white on your palette, then thin out your pink by adding more water. I have here my quinacridone rose, my preferred pink for my florals. That will be my base color. Testing it out on my practice sheet, and I'll adjust that by adding more white or more water for the color of the petals. For the branch, I'll use the same pink, quin rose, and add brown, burnt umber to achieve this color. This is a limited palette painting. For the buds or florets, I'll go for the same pink and brown mixture, but this time, I'll add more pink to it. And for the shadows of my branch, let's add in blue. That's my ultramarine blue. And these are the colors that I will use for my painting. Let's practice our brush strokes. I want to keep my florals fresh by using minimal strokes. And if I can achieve a desired shape with 1 or 2 strokes, so be it. I'm just showing you how I do it. But if you are painting along, I encourage you to do this in your own style, or you could also follow and try the techniques that I will demo. You'll notice that I am dropping pure pink at the center of my flowers while it is still wet. For those who are meeting me for the first time, this is Bianca, an aspiring watercolor artist from the Philippines who loves to teach. I've been offering free and exclusive watercolor workshops since last year, so feel free to check out the replays for my previous workshops in this channel. Just look for the Paint With Me videos and drop me a comment so I could say hi. Going back, practice these strokes as much as you need to. This looks easy as I do it, but that may be because I've been working with watercolors for 2 years now, so it might be quite a challenge for those who are just starting out. Now that we've decided on our colors and practiced our strokes, it's time to work on our painting. I'll establish the overall shape of my cherry blossoms by sketching the shape of the branch. I'll use 2 brushes, a size 10 and a size 3. The bigger brush will be used for the petals and the smaller one for the darker center, so I wouldn't have to rinse my brush every time I change my colors. Then I'll paint in the petals just like how we practiced earlier. For my frequent students and painting buddies, you might have heard this so many times. But I'd like to add interest to my paintings by varying the shapes, angles, sizes of my flowers. Some are facing us, facing down. Some are showing all of the 5 petals, 3 petals. I'll add in florets and buds and vary the sizes. We're trying to suggest an organic look for our floral arrangement, and it's a simple way to do just that. Also, please check the link below where you can upload your painting for all of your online classmates or painting buddies to see, and I might even leave a quick feedback, or go a bit extra and upload it on your social media and tag me. I'll feature some on my stories. By the time I'm recording this video, this is my second painting done on Shop Tokyo Finds watercolor paper. It's so challenging to do a wet-on-wet technique on this paper, but with wet on dry or direct painting, this would do. It feels like Canson watercolor paper but thicker. My favorite so far is Bao Hong, which is 100% cotton paper, and I have been using that for a year now. So there's a bit of a learning curve every time I try a new paper. What about you? Have you tried this paper? Or which watercolor paper brand is your favorite? I also noticed that just like Canson, the colors seem a bit paler on Tokyo Finds. But again, if you're just starting out, this paper would do, especially if you're practicing your strokes, doing value studies, color swatches, working on your forms and proportions, or even perspective. In painting the branch, I like to do it with minimal strokes as well, and I'll do that by painting it quickly with short strokes. It took me a while to get this confident in painting it with this style, but again, feel free to do this on your own. Just keep in mind to paint your branch darker. This would create a strong contrast between the light petals and dark branch. This is Quin Rose plus Burnt Umber, but you won't need these exact colors. If you did not skip the color swatch prep earlier, you should have chosen by now the base colors for your limited palette. While that is still wet, I will drop my shadow color, which is brown plus blue plus pink. You can also try black if you want, but personally I want my shadows to have colors in it as well. And my go-to combination for dark neutrals is burnt umber plus ultramarine blue. Brown plus pink mixture again for the florets or buds, but this time I will add more pink. I also switched to my smaller brush since it's easier to paint smaller shapes with this one. And just like how I did my flowers, I will paint those buds in different shapes, pointing in various directions and vary their sizes. I'll continue adding details as I see fit, but being careful also not to overwork this painting. So far, Tokyo Finds watercolor paper is doing well with direct painting. From my first try, I know that it would be best to paint with 1 or 2 layers only, but I will study this paper more, and when I'm confident, I'll show you a semi-realistic still life painting using this paper. Just like Canson, when I got to know that paper, I know that I can still produce an aesthetic painting with limited number of layers and certain painting styles, but I wouldn't use these student grade papers when joining competitions and exhibits. Adding some more details on my flowers, and if you want to, you may also paint the word sakura, which translates to cherry blossoms in hiragana, a Japanese writing system. I like to do that in red to make this look like a Japanese painting. And that's it. Thanks for painting along. Check out the description below for more info, and I'll see you next week for our sunflower workshop.